Everyone, it's Showall 360, and finally I have a Shinee haul. I feel like I haven't had a Shinee haul in forever, you guys. I feel like there just hasn't been anything for me to show off in a long time for Shinee, because honestly, Shinee hasn't done that much for 2014. 2015, of course, is starting off super promising. But yeah, it just felt like there was nothing for me to show you. But over the last month and a half, I've gotten quite a few things. So I feel like now's as good a time as any to show off a haul, especially since I did a lot of trades in the last few weeks. So yeah, let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about are these two albums here. This is Shinee's first Japanese album, the first. I have the special box version of this album, but I didn't have the regular or the other limited edition. So I bought this one on Amazon and this one on eBay. I bought this one on Amazon for a really cheap price. I paid like $8 including shipping. So $8 all inclusive, which is pretty decent. It comes with a photo book, a CD, DVD, and it comes with this, which is the mini calendar. The mini calendar is shaped like a small CD case, like a CD jewel case, and it comes with these cards inside, and each card is double-sided. So there's like 6 cards in here for each. There's one for each month, or one for every 2 months, I guess. And yeah, it's a neat little idea. It's cute. The only problem is that, you know, with the calendar, once the year is over, the calendar is really not any good anymore. So it kind of makes it to where you have like 2 things that are going to be always useful, and then one thing that kind of you can't really use. It's just there. But I didn't have it before, and I really needed it to complete my collection, so I'm happy with it. I'm glad I got it. Now, the other thing I have, like I said, is the regular edition. I paid more for this. I bought this on Amazon, and I paid $25 for it, which seems like a lot. But it was worth it to me because it actually came with its original photo card, which was the key card. And for any of you who collect Shinee photo cards, you know that this card, it trades for like $20, $25 on its own. So really, it was kind of like me buying the card and getting the album for free. It was really worth it. And I have the Taemin card for this album, which I wanted to trade somebody for Minho, but that opportunity has never come up for me. But I saw that this came with the key card, and I'm like, if I can't trade my Taemin card, I really want to at least have one of my biases. Minho being my ultimate bias in Shinee, but Key is like my visual bias in Shinee because I really, really dig him in pictures. Like, he does perfect photo cards. Like, I have not seen a bad Key photo card yet. He always is on point with his photos. So yeah, there's that. So that part of my collection is finalized. The other part of my Shinee collection that I had been wanting to get for a while and hadn't been lucky about was Lucky Star. I have the regular version of Lucky Star. I got it used, so it didn't come with a photo card, but I do have a regular version of Lucky Star. I have been wanting to get the limited edition since it came out. The only problem was the limited edition was really expensive. Like, the limited edition for Lucky Star cost as much as this entire album new, which is crazy. So I really hemmed and hawed and drug my feet about getting it for a long time, but finally I was like, you know what? I don't think the price is going to go any lower for a couple of different reasons, which I'll tell you about in a moment. So I went ahead and bit the bullet. I got it for $25 including shipping, brand new. I bought it off of Amazon, and I'm glad I have it now because now I feel like I'm that much closer. There's really only one other Japanese album I need to complete my Shinee Japanese discography. But yeah, I feel like this made me feel one step closer, and whenever you know you're like only one step away from completion, like that is a great feeling. So yeah, I'm glad I got it, and now I'm going to explain to you why this album is not trading for any less than what it should be. Okay, so I bought it brand new. It comes with a photo card. I was lucky enough to pull my bias. I was so happy. Like, really, when I opened this and this was there, I was like, yes! I don't have to try to trade it for anything because this card doesn't trade. People hold on to these cards like they're gold bars because it's a puzzle card. You have to have all 6 pieces to make the big star for the Lucky Star. So this card sells between $17 and $25 on its own, and people don't hardly trade them around very much because they're trying to make the entire puzzle. So the album doesn't really sell for cheap because people want to buy up a bunch of them to try to get cards that they can trade. It's one of those things that it's made it really difficult, and it's also a newer single. I think this was like the last single before I'm Your Boy came out. So this has just been really hard within the photo card community to get a hold of this card. Well, not Minho specifically, but get a hold of Lucky Star cards for a regular price, and also for buying this album with a photo card and buying this album in general. Excuse me. So yeah, I haven't been lucky with getting this, but I finally have it now, so that puts me one step closer to everything. And I'm just really, really happy to finally get that done. And then one little extra thing that I got that I really didn't need to get, I got this Japanese press of the Korean Lucifer album because I didn't have these photographs, because there's two versions of the Korean press Lucifer, and there's one that's like the MV making and the other one that is the photo shoot one. And I have the photo shoot one, I didn't have this one, and I just really wanted these pictures. And when I saw this one on sale for like $6, shipping included, I really couldn't pass that up. That was way too good of a deal, so I went ahead and I got it, and I really like it a lot. You know, it didn't come with the jacket card, but I mean, as cheap as it was, I didn't expect it to come with the jacket card. But yeah, it's just really fun to look back at this time in these photographs. And there's a couple of things I saw in here that I had always been wondering, where did that picture come from, and I finally found that came from here. So this is actually a really eye-opening experience to finally own this. I really did like it a lot, and I'm glad I got it. And then some other things I want to talk to you guys about are some trades that I did. I traded my Onu Japanese press I'm Your Boy card for this, which is the Minho Japanese press I'm Your Boy card. Now, I had the Korean press of this card, so I wasn't without this card completely, but I did not have Japanese press. So being able to trade it for Japanese press was really nice, because now I have the Korean press version and the Japanese press version, and they're both my biases, so yay! Also, and I traded for this with Miranda. I should say her name. Miranda 0223. I also traded this, which is the group card from the Boys Meet You single for Shinee. I traded this one for my extra Minho Boys Meet You single card with Ads Power, and he is a really, really lovely human being, and I'm so glad we traded together. And yeah, I really treasure this card a lot, because I have always bemoaned the fact that Shinee doesn't get enough like regular clothing concepts. This is like one of maybe 3 or 4 regular clothing concepts they've ever had, and I love the stripes, and they're so on trend. So yeah, I'm really glad to have this group card, because anytime you have a group card, you always have your bias if your bias is in the group. So there you go. I have 2 bias cards for this album now. And then I bought some cards. I bought this card. It's the 1000 Years by Your Side card, and I bought it from Chantel Windsor. She has a channel here on YouTube, but I bought it through the photo card form. I didn't know it was her until after I went to go pay her. I'm like, hey, that name is familiar. Where did I know that name from? Yeah, it's her. But yeah, she sold me this card, which means I now have a card for every single Japanese album, because that was one of the only albums, that one and Lucky Star were the only 2 albums I didn't have any cards for. So now I have a card for every single Shinee album. Yay. And then I bought this Dazzling Girl card for Minho, because I had Onu's card and I had Taemin's card, but I really didn't like those cards very much, and that card hasn't been trading because that card is not very popular, that series of cards. So I got it for like $5, since, like I said, they're not very popular, and I love it, because he looks so cute. He looks like a little baby bird in this picture to me. I also bought this, which is the Everybody photo card from Minho. I bought this from somebody on eBay, and they sold it to me including shipping for $4.25, which is a crazy amount, so I just couldn't pass it up. But yeah, it's really, really cute, and they gave it to me with Key's bookmark. So I now have 2 Minho bookmarks and a Key bookmark for that album. I'm really super happy about that. Like I said, Key, he never does wrong, so anytime I can get extra Key stuff, I'm always down for it. And the last card I got was this, which is the Lucifer card for Korean press. I got this card from Jace. Is it Jace 0337? It's on eBay. Anyway, I got it for a really reasonable price. I'm glad I got this card because I found out after I did my bias tag video that I had a huge dent in my Taemin card for Korean Press Lucifer. And Taemin is not my bias anyway, so I'm like, that gives me an excuse to buy my biases card then because I need an intact card. So yeah, now, like I said, I have a card for every single Shinee album, and that makes me happy. Alright, on to the big stuff, because you've probably been seeing it this whole video and thinking, when is she going to talk about the elephant in the middle of the room? So let's get into it. Okay, first I'm going to talk about the season's greetings, because this is not something I ever anticipated buying before. I think what happened is at the end of the year, I was really thinking about Shinee a lot. One, because Jonghyun was rumored to have a solo coming out, so I was excited about that. But also, it just had been a while since I'd had anything Shinee related. You know, Shinee wasn't doing promotions. They didn't have a Korean album come out in 2014. I was just really feeling Shinee deprived. So when I saw this for sale on eBay from To Be With K-Pop Buyer, I just knew I had to have it. And he basically takes these season's greetings kits. He sells you the kit, but he removes the mini calendar cards and sells those individually. So because it didn't come with all of the mini calendar cards, this sold to me for $28, shipping included. So I've got that, and it comes with, he gave me this little bonus picture here. It came with the big calendar, and I have it flipped over to Taemin because this is probably one of my favorite pictures of Taemin I've seen in a really long time. I love this picture. It comes with a making of disc, so that's that. This is where your mini calendar photos would normally be, and then it comes with a scheduler, and the scheduler is really adorable. The scheduler is like every other month you get a different picture of a member, so that's pretty cool. And also, there is a gorgeous picture of Minho in here. Look at that photograph. Ugh. He is too gorgeous. That man is beautiful. Whew. Just take a minute and admire the awe-inspiring sight of Choi Min-ho. So hot. But yeah, that's what comes with it. So like I said, I don't normally buy this, and I don't think I'll be buying it in the future if I have actual music I can buy, because I don't normally collect photo books and stuff either. But I was just really feeling Shinee deprived at the end of last year, and I just wanted something. I wanted to give Shinee my money. Somehow, some way, I wanted it to happen. So I ended up buying this, and I'm glad I have it. It's an experience that I didn't anticipate having, and it's one that even though I won't repeat it, I'm glad to have had that opportunity. Okay, now lastly, I'm going to talk to you about Jonghyun's bass. So you see here, I have both versions. Of course I have both versions because I had to have both versions. I had to have them. I had to have both versions because I really regretted not getting both versions of Taemin's album when it first came out, because it took me a long time to finally get the black version. So I was really like, I don't want to feel that way again with this album, because I know I already love this album. So as soon as it went on pre-order, I'm like, just go ahead and give me both. I don't want to argue about it or worry about it later on. Just go ahead and give me both. I pre-ordered this the 6th of January. I did not get this in the mail until the 9th of February. Yeah, it took for frickin' ever for me to get these albums. I was so pissed off. But I'm better now because they're here, and I could not be happier with this album. This is probably my favorite K-pop album of all time, which I am loath to say that because I don't like making definitive statements like that, because later on you prove yourself wrong most of the time. But this really is, like, this album is like all the music I listened to from the time I was like maybe 5 years old until today. It is a really comprehensive study of American R&B music. And I know that sounds out of place for me to say because he is a Korean artist and he's considered a K-pop artist. But I feel like with him naming this album Bass, like he said in his interview with One the K, he considers it the base of his musical interest, the things that I guess he grew up listening to as well. And then he said, you know, my first musical experience is through the bass guitar, but also I consider this kind of the base of everything I do. This album has no new sound. Like, there's nothing in this album that you can listen to and be like, oh, well, I've never heard that before. No, everything in this album is steeped in R&B tradition. Like, I hear hints of Babyface, hints of Teddy Riley, who is a producer over at SM, who's also worked with Michael Jackson. I hear hints of Michael Jackson here. New Jack Swing. I hear neo soul. I hear the new kind of music that you're hearing from The Weeknd and the internet and Drake. I hear Zion T in here, not just because it's on the album, but also Zion T does a particular style of R&B music that, if you haven't ever listened to his solo album, Red Light, which is amazing, you need to listen to it. But it's a certain kind of R&B that a lot of K-indie labels are doing now that's based off of late 80s, mid 90s R&B. And I hear a lot of that in here. Like, this is an album made by somebody that when you listen to it, you can tell that he really studied R&B music. He really studied musical history. He really takes a lot of those concepts and sounds and instrumentation and arrangement, and he made it his own. And I'm really, really proud of him for this. One, because I think it shows what a consummate artist and musician he is. And I think a lot of people lose that because they look at K-pop and think, oh, that's a really manufactured sound. Well, yes, K-pop is manufactured sound because it is determined by the corporation. SM is a machine, and the SM machine says Shinee is gonna do long hair as a concept, or they're gonna do shiny suits as a concept. They do that. But I think this album really strips back a lot of the artifice that you see with Shinee when they're as a group, and it really shows you that there's a reason why these individuals were chosen for this particular group. It's not like they walked down the street and they pulled 5 random boys off the sidewalk and said, we're going to turn you into a group. One, because human beings are not products like that. But two, you have to have something to work with. And I think that this album is a chance for us to see what it was that SM saw during auditions that made them say, we need that young man to come join our company. We need to put that young man in a group. We need them to debut in 2007. And what made them decide to keep going with Shinee? This album is it. Like, this shows you what it is. And I love it. I really, really love it. I can't say enough about it. I can't really even give you a favorite song on here. I have songs that I thought I didn't like, and then when I started listening to them more, I liked them more because I listened to them in context with where they fit on the album. That's another thing about this. The way that the tracks are arranged on the album makes absolute sense. And I didn't get it at first. Like, I didn't understand why Fortune Cookie cannot be skipped to. Like, if you listen to this album, you have to fast forward through Beautiful Tonight to get to Fortune Cookie. Like, you can't just skip to it through, pressing buttons. But now I get why. Because if you listen to Beautiful Tonight and you listen to it for being the jazz song it is rather than an R&B song, and then you listen to Fortune Cookie and put that in the context of an artist like D'Angelo and his Voodoo album and how it was a very jazzy R&B inspired song, and then if you keep on listening past Fortune Cookie back into Deja Vu, which also has a very neo-soul jazz influenced sound, it just makes sense. Like, there's so much care and consideration that was put into this album. And I know it seems like I'm just like blowing smoke up his ass and just like really spazzing out over it and making it more than what it is. But to me, my personal opinion, I can't make this album more than it is because it really is that big a deal to me. Like, I am in love with this album. Now, it doesn't hurt that Jonghyun is one of my favorite vocalists in K-pop, and he's in my bias group. Like, those factors do not hurt my opinion. They do definitely color my opinion quite a bit, but I am just beyond impressed. I feel like I am ready for the rest of the solos. I am ready for Minho's solo. I am ready for Key's solo. I'm ready for Onu's solo like yesterday. I'm ready for all the solos. I'm ready for people to see what a talented and unique group of artists comprise Shinee. I am ready for everybody to see why I stand as hard as I do, because they're worth it. And he, by putting this project out and showing himself the way he's shown himself right now, he is worth it. And And of course, you know, before I finish this video, I have to talk about Ace and Base together, because I mean, there's no, you can't get around it. You can't get around it. Comparison, contrast, these are identical albums in terms of like packaging. Even the way the artist name on the left, the CD title on the middle part, and then the first mini album on the right. The picture's the same width. The albums are the same width. The way it's made, you open it up, you've got their little talk piece here, and you've got the name of the artist there. Same thing with this one, your little talk piece here, the name of the artist there. The color of the album when you take the dust cover off. The color of the album when you take the dust cover off. When you look at the CDs are twinsies. Ace, Base, it's the same freaking thing. So I really can't say anything packaging wise about that. The pictures, I feel like Taemin's is a little bit better in terms of the concept, like being very organized. In Taemin's, concepts don't really cross. Like when you're flipping through it, there is the Naked Boy set, there is the Jungle Boy set, there is the Tiger Boy set, there is the Turtleneck set, there is the Gun Toting set. In Jonghyun's, it is more mixed up. Like, he shows the disco ball at the end, but then towards the beginning of the album, he shows you the disco ball photo. So, I mean, it is more mixed up in that manner. But I think it also goes with the way that these albums are made, too. With Taemin, I felt like each song on Ace was made to showcase a different part of Taemin as a singer. And I think the productions are very wildly different. Like, I feel like the sound that you get on the song Ace is crazy different from what you get on Danger, which is crazy different than what you get on Experience, which is crazy different than what you get on Pretty Boys. And it's just to show you all the different colors of Taemin, because we don't really know Taemin all that well. Like, you know, when he started with Shinee, he didn't get that much vocal time, and he's gotten more as time has gone on, but people have always compared his voice to Jonghyun's voice when it came to giving Taemin more lines. But this was an album that was kind of there to let you see kind of who Taemin is. I feel like with Jonghyun's, the reason why maybe the concept pictures are more mixed up, and the reason why it's kind of a more cohesive listen and kind of it flows a little bit better and everything kind of fits together a little bit better, is because with Jonghyun, we know what his voice sounds like. So with Taemin, we kind of had to explore who is Taemin as an artist, what is he about, what does he really sound like outside of Shinee. But Jonghyun, we know what he sounds like outside of Shinee. This was an opportunity for him to explain to you who he is as an artist. Whereas Taemin, we needed to hear him as a singer and hear him outside of his protective shell of Shinee. With Jonghyun, we really need to hear him not just outside of the protective shell of Shinee, but we needed to hear him without the look of Shinee, kind of. And that is another thing about the photo book on this. Just like you see Naked Boy Taemin, and you're not used to seeing Taemin naked a whole bunch, with Jonghyun, he's got all his clothes on. Like, sexy Jonghyun is not in these photographs. Yes, he's still sexy. Like, he's not anything less than sexy, obviously, but just like in the video for Crazy, there's shirtless Jonghyun. There's no shirtless pictures in here. There's no big flashes of skin in here. There's no biting of lips in here. It's very, there's a couple of coy shots where he's kind of like playing the camera and, you know, covering up. But for the most part, it's very stripped. And I could talk for hours about these albums. Last thing I want to talk about, of course, is the photo cards, because, you know, you got to talk about the photo cards for this. So, photo cards, I got one of each, so there you go, one of each. I like them. I like these better than I like Taemin's cards. I thought Taemin's cards were really weird looking, so that's cool. But yeah, Jonghyun's album is just, it's beautiful and wonderful, and it's everything that I hoped it would be, and it's even more than I hoped it would be, and this Shinee haul is now complete. Thank you guys for watching for nearly 25 minutes. Thank you for listening to me ramble and rant about Jonghyun, and please support him. I know he's kind of done with promotions at this point, so there's no need to buy a whole bunch, but just, you know, buy it anyway. for the listening experience, and also buy it because when the end of the year comes and they see the totals that he sold, I think that if he does really well on his solo, maybe it will encourage SM to let him do another solo album. Because like I said, with this album, it really is base. Like, this is the basic Jonghyun as an artist that we're seeing here, but I think there's more to him that we're not going to have a chance to see. But if this does really well, we will. I think kind of the rock artist that is in Jonghyun, we haven't had a chance to see with this album, but he does have a steep interest in actual rock music, and I think that his second album would probably have some of that. I think that there is more jazz that he wants to show us, and I think there's an acoustic side to Jonghyun that we haven't had a chance to really listen to with this album that if he gets another project we'll be able to see. So kind of these solo shots for SM artists are kind of like testing the water to see, is there a market for more of this stuff? And I think that there is. So let's continue to support him even after promotions are over, and hopefully SM will say, hey, let's do this again sometime, because I'm ready for a second solo. I'm ready for second mini album, first full album. I'm ready for it. Give it to me. I will take it. All right, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I continue to live for your comments on these videos, and I want to also say, continue to be encouraging to one another. I know I always say in my videos, pray for each other, but you know, some of you aren't really the praying type, and I get that. So I'm not going to force my personal beliefs on you in that manner. Don't feel guilty if you don't feel bad if you don't pray, because I'm going to love you anyway. But continue to be encouraging to each other. I really want to make that my theme for 2015. And if you have a theme for 2015, share it below. But my theme this year is to continue to be an encouragement to others, because I feel like the world demands that we all be very selfish, and I feel like the world tells you look out for yourself, and any opportunity you can to kind of kick other people, use it, because only by stepping on their heads can you get up any higher. And I really feel like one of the things that encourages me to do these videos and that I really love about YouTube is that there are so many people that are out there on YouTube that they have great words of encouragement for you, that they are interested in hearing what you have to say, and they have nice things to say about the things you have to say. And I don't know, I just find that I smile on YouTube. YouTube makes me happy, and I have met some outstanding, beautiful people on YouTube that have really done some amazing things for me. So my word at the end of this is just continue to be an encouragement to other people, because honestly, there's just not enough of that in the world. And any way you can get it, anywhere you can get it, definitely soak it up. So, you know, when you go out there today, smile at somebody that maybe you wouldn't normally think about smiling at. And, you know, if you have an opportunity to, maybe wave at a stranger. You know, now if it's like somebody that makes you feel creepy, go ahead and keep your head down and keep walking. But maybe if it's like a nice old lady in the grocery store, just go ahead and wave and be like, hey. But yeah, definitely be encouraging to one another, because we need that encouragement so that we can get through these times, because the world tells you that you shouldn't be an encourager, and we don't need to listen to the negative thoughts in the world, because trust me, the world will provide more than enough negativity on its own. So let's remain positive, let's be encouragers of one another, and hopefully we'll see each other again soon. Bye.